Let's have your hands and eyes and looking at the smartboard. Today we're going to be doing a science and technology project called Pumpkin Chuckin. So it's getting you ready for the pumpkin show that's coming up this week. Our scenario is, and you can follow along with your handout that you have on your table, is Woody and the Wake Up Call is a Columbus morning radio show, and every year they come down to Circleville to drop the largest pumpkin into smithereens. So this year they want to also launch pumpkins for distance, but they don't have a device to launch the pumpkins. So the radio DJs have enlisted our help to create a prototype that will catapult the pumpkin using a standard mousetrap-like device. Okay, this device must be powered by the potential energy stored in the device and may not be aided by a helping hand. You can keep it steady with your hand, but you cannot fling it with your hand. It has to be the actual contraption that you're making that powers your pumpkin. The device must remain behind the launch area boundary during the launch, and part of it must be touching the floor before, during, and after the launch. Devices may not be taped to the floor. Okay, so that's your scenario. We need some helpers to help pass out the different materials. So we're going to have Mr. Dolby select some helpers to pass out 1 straw, 5 rubber bands, 5 index cards, 2 small paper cups, 5 craft sticks or popsicle sticks, 6 inches of masking tape, scissors, and 1 pumpkin peep. Okay, so we're not going to pass out the pumpkin peep. That's going to be used to launch only. You're going to get that for the second day when we test. So please pause this recording so that way you can hand out your materials. Do that now. Please pause. Okay, does everybody have the materials that you need? Does everybody have 1 straw? Okay, does everybody have 5 rubber bands? Does everybody have 5 index cards? Does everybody have 2 small paper cups? Does everybody have 5 popsicle sticks? Does everybody have 6 inches of masking tape? And does everybody have a pair of scissors? Okay, great. So now we need to identify the need. You're going to need to go back to the scenario I just read a little bit ago, and I want you to identify, what does Woody and the Wake Up Call need you to make? So we did this whenever we made our exceptional package and whenever we did our watercraft challenge, that you have to identify the needs and make sure that you know what your bosses want you to do. Okay, and the second thing I want you to do is to research the problem. So I want you to brainstorm a few reasons how a mouse trap, if you think about using a mouse trap, how that would help launch a pumpkin peep. Okay, so you have 2 things to do, and I want Mr. Dolby to set the timer for 3 minutes. He's going to tell you when to go. So pause this now, and Mr. Dolby will tell you when to start. 3 minutes. Okay, the next step is to design a solution. So you've done this before. I want you to independently and not as a group sketch an idea for your prototype pumpkin slinger. Make sure that in that box you not only sketch it out, but you also label what everything is and what those materials are that you're using in your design. You're going to want to spend 3 or 4 minutes probably doing that. Once everybody has finished sketching, then I want you to take turns sharing your ideas with each other. Make sure that you outline what are those constraints. And constraints are factors that limit the design. What do you wish you had more of? What do you wish you had that we didn't give to you? And I want you to list those on part B. And part C is working together to decide on a final design. Maybe you're putting the best of everybody's sketch into one. Maybe you just decided on one person's design altogether, but you need to decide, sketch that and label it. And you'll have 10 minutes to do this whole thing. So maybe 3 or 4 minutes to sketch your own, a couple of minutes to share with each other and discuss, present your ideas, and maybe another 3 or 4 minutes to draw your final design. Mr. Dolby is going to time you for 10 minutes, so pause this now. Okay, the next part you're going to need to do is to build your prototype. So you need to plan out exactly what you're going to be using. You already know all the materials that are available to you, but you might not use all of it. You know based on your drawing what you're going to be needing, so make sure you're specific and list that out. I also want you to list out the procedure that you're going to use to build your prototype. So you're going to need to make sure that you have good detailed procedures, not the cave person procedures like we did with our peanut butter no jelly demonstration earlier this year. So I want you to have 10 minutes to build or to list out your materials and to write out your procedure. So 10 minutes to do that. So pause this now. Mr. Dolby's going to time you for 10 minutes to put together your materials and detailed procedures. He's also going to walk around and check and make sure that you have detailed procedures. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is to actually build it. Okay, we're going to give you 10 minutes to build. So when Mr. Dolby says go, then you're able to start building. You have 10 minutes to do so. Good luck.